We're speaking, of course, with Sheila Cherfilus-McCormick.
Good.
Yeah, I'm going to get a pat on the back every time I get it right. She's running for the United States Congress to represent the Alcee Hastings District 20. That could change a little bit depending on whenever redistricting ultimately comes to pass, but I'm sure it won't.
It's not going to happen between now and this
does not appear
election.
to. Does not appear to, and that affects obviously a lot of other people potentially running. But with that said, what would you say? Because this is going to be a very crowded field. We already believe have 7 or 8 confirmed candidates in the race. So, what is it that you feel distinguishes yourself from the rest of the candidates running?
Balls, right? Tell him, Sheila.
Jen, I was about to say that, but I was going to be politically correct and say courage. No, I just had the balls to do it. The rest of them don't. And
it's a big deal to me. That's a big deal to me. And I say it every time I talk about you.
Well, we have to ask ourselves the question, what do you really have to lose? And that's how I always felt like, what are you going to do to me? What's the worst that can happen? The best case scenario, guess what? Our children and our families get what they deserve. Worst case scenario, I'm here fighting you again. And that's how it's been. I've just been here fighting. So I think it's the courage. And right now, especially in Congress, we can't afford to send anybody who hasn't displayed courage before. If you think it's hard for you to stand up for the community in the state, they don't have no idea what's coming for them when they get to Congress. It takes a lot of courage to do it. And I think that's the number one. The second thing is I actually have a plan. There's a lot of people who are advocating and say, oh, I deserve to get there because it's a next step of service. There's no next step of service. It's not the same thing. Or what are you going there for? What is your plan? What's your purpose? We're really excited about our new initiative, which is the People's Prosperity Plan, which we found the money to give everybody $1,000 who's 18 and over, who makes less than $75,000 a year, $1,000 check consistently as an economic recovery check. And we found it by taxing automation and also people who are selling private information. So it's there. I have the will to do it. I have a plan. And I have an economic revitalization plan for our district where we're partnering and people can actually go forward with small businesses. So I have a plan. I've done it. I have experience lobbying both sides, trying to get our point through and getting people to sign on. Those are the major differentiators. I come from a business and healthcare standpoint. And I say that because it is extremely important to understand what that means. In business and healthcare, we don't get paid or applauded for promises. We get paid and applauded for doing. If you do the wrong job, you suffer dire consequences for yourself and for the people you serve. So I've never been in the business of promises. I'm not here for that. It just needs to get done.
Yeah.
And so in order to get it done, you need to have a plan, and we have that.
Yeah, I told everybody coming on, I'm like, okay, somebody early on when we came on said they had voted for you the past 2 times. And what was the question? They just want to make sure that how she feels about UBI or whatever it was. I don't know. It was a question. So we just said, and said, not only does Sheila support UBI, she's got a plan. She's got a plan. It's in a binder.
It's funny. It's like a combination of Andrew Yang and Elizabeth Warren.
So she's got a plan. She's got a plan. And I said, and I Sheila's very, very policy wonky, and your background in business and health is a really good precursor to going to law school. Like for me, it was marketing and PR and then law. But for you being health and management, it's like this whole different perspective on the system.
Yeah, because when I came out of law school, I initially wanted to be a prosecutor or in defense. And every time I read a criminal law case, it reminded me of Bobby Whitney. Don't ask me why. It just was, to me, there's always something hilarious happening. Not the ones that are deadly, but the little ones. And when I came out, I just fell in love with the Affordable Health Care Act and the way they were able to meet needs and start including performance and the creative sides of it. So as for policy, healthcare, and seeing the transformation, that's when I fell in love with it. And then I got to actually propose comments when they had new legislation to different departments. Then you get to actually be a part of it. And since then, I've been doing that the whole time. So it's been a great process. And I think one of the best things about going to Congress is the power of the pen, but also implementation. There's a lot of good bills that get passed, but people don't know how to implement it stateside. And that's where we don't feel change in our everyday lives because we have no mechanisms of enforcement. And so we're here to change that.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.